In the late 1920s, Hollywood underwent a severe mechanical overhaul. Synchronized sound had arrived, and studios immediately promoted all-talkie features as the new standard for theatrical entertainment. The transition forced an entire generation of silent film actors to rapidly adjust their physical performances to accommodate hidden microphones and strictly timed dialogue. Charlie Chaplin refused to follow the trend. He argued that the identity of the little tramp relied entirely on a universal physical language. If the character spoke, the mystery of his origins and his broad global appeal would vanish. He decided to self-fund his next project, putting his own fortune on the line to produce a massive silent film in a market that had already declared the format obsolete. The resulting picture was City Lights. Without the novelty of sound, the production faced a difficult conceptual challenge. It had to rely strictly on an elevated standard of visual craftsmanship to hold the audience's attention. By taking this stance, Chaplin set out to prove that a film's true voice comes from its physical performance and visual clarity rather than audio technology. The commitment to silence stretched the filming of City Lights from 1928 to 1930. Without dialogue to explain the plot, production moved at a crawl, as every narrative beat had to be physically engineered. Chaplin's perfectionism was now a technical necessity. Every movement had to be scientifically precise. A slight tilt of the head or the timing of a footstep carried the weight that a line of dialogue once did. The stakes were highest during the film's central meeting, the moment the tramp first encounters the blind flower girl. Chaplin had to establish a specific visual logic to explain how a blind character could mistake a penniless vagrant for a wealthy man, using only the sound of a closing car door and a brief physical touch. Chaplin spent several months filming and refilming this one moment, hundreds of takes dedicated to the precise way a coin was handed over or how the tramp stood in the street. This agonizing timeline was the price he paid to achieve a level of visual literacy that dialogue usually provides with ease. The extreme scrutiny took a heavy professional toll on the cast. In his obsessive pursuit of a specific visual reaction, Chaplin went so far as to temporarily fire his leading lady, Virginia Cherrill, because her performance didn't yet fit the world he was building. This world relied on a dual design, where every set and city street had to serve two masters. Every physical space was meticulously planned to function as both a stage for high-energy comedy and an arena for genuine pathos. We see this balance in the character of the eccentric millionaire, creating a repeating visual cycle where he embraces the tramp while intoxicated and violently rejects him when sober. The plot is driven forward by high-energy physical routines, specifically a highly choreographed boxing match where the tramp tries to win the money needed to restore the flower girl's sight. By saturating the screen with kinetic movement and comedy, the quiet moments of the tramp's poverty and longing land with much heavier impact. Through meticulous control over every physical gesture, Chaplin crafted a visual score that could be understood across all cultural and linguistic barriers. When City Lights premiered in Los Angeles in January 1931, the stakes were immense. Chaplin had put his entire reputation and fortune on the line. The gamble paid off immediately. The film was a massive commercial success, proving its ability to move diverse audiences, from raucous laughter to absolute silence. Sitting next to Chaplin as the guest of honor, Albert Einstein was reportedly brought to tears by the film's wordless power. The emotional weight of the picture culminates in its final sequence. The tramp, recently released from prison, reunites with the flower girl, who can now see and runs a successful shop. Offering him a coin out of pity, she touches his hand. In that single, tactile moment, she recognizes the ragged man in front of her is the benefactor she had imagined. The critic James Agee would later describe this final sequence as the greatest piece of acting ever committed to celluloid. By relying on physical realization over synchronized speech, City Lights showed that a performance could survive the obsolescence of its medium. It remains a testament to the idea that clarity of vision can be more articulate than any dialogue. This was brought to you by Stalls or Circle. Thank you for listening.